I'm Ryan from ExtremeTerrain.com, and this is my review and installation of the Pedal Commander Throttle Response Controller fitting all 2007 and up JKs. Today we're going to take you for a ride so we can really show you how this affects the drivability of your Jeep. We'll also walk you through the installation, which is a very simple 1 out of 3 wrench install because this is completely plug and play, and of course we'll talk through a few of the other features of this unit. Our throttle bodies don't have a physical connection with an actual cable between the pedal and the throttle body. All of that communication is done electronically, and in the factory ECU there is a little bit of a delay that can feel like lack of performance. Well, the Pedal Commander will take away that delay, giving you back the performance feeling in your JK. And this particular unit actually has a lot of adjustability. This has 4 different driving modes, each with 4 different levels of sensitivity, so it makes it even more customizable than, say, the Sprint Booster, which only has a couple of different levels. If you're somebody who really likes to play with things and dial in your throttle response exactly how you want it to be, this is probably a better option than the Sprint Booster. If you're somebody who just wants something to plug in and work and you're okay with a couple of different options, the Sprint Booster is a great option as well. Both are going to give you a much sportier feel thanks to getting rid of that delay in the throttle response. Now, it is important to note that these aren't actually providing more performance to your vehicle. This is not a tune, this isn't changing air-fuel ratios and spark timing and all of those other things, shift points that an actual tune will change in your vehicle. And this is not designed to take the place of a calibrator if you've just installed larger tires. This is designed to do one thing, and it does it very well, and that's to get rid of that throttle response lag that you can have from the factory, making the Jeep feel more powerful. As I said before, this unit actually has 4 different driving modes. It has a city mode, which is for your regular around the town driving, a sport mode, which is for more spirited driving, and a sport plus mode, which is really more of a race mode. Now, I know it seems weird to say race mode when we're talking about a Jeep, which certainly isn't a race car, but you have to remember that these units are designed for a lot of other vehicles, and a lot of people do use these in cars. So you can think of City Sport and Sport Plus as just going up on the range of throttle response. Now, once you select one of those modes, you have 8 different adjustments within that mode that can make it feel more or less responsive. So again, you do have a ton of adjustability with this. There's also an eco mode, which is going to take away a little bit of throttle response. And what that's designed to do is give you a little bit more fuel mileage. They say for maximum fuel economy, you want to drive like there's a cup of water on your dashboard that you're not going to spill. And of course, if you hammer the throttle right off the line and pull a few G's, that cup would spill. So the eco mode is really to dumb down and take away some of that throttle response, making everything very smooth and very slow, giving you back some of your MPG. However, the eco mode also has an additional effect off-road. If you're somebody who's doing some rock crawling and you don't want to be real jerky with the pedal, but you're having some trouble with that, you can go into eco mode and it will soften up that throttle response, which can be beneficial off-road or even in wet and snowy conditions if you find yourself slipping around. Now, one thing that does make this different from the Sprint Booster is that this is designed to plug in and stay plugged in all the time. The Sprint Booster has a module that does stay plugged in all the time, but the controller is unpluggable. So you plug it in, you set the throttle response you want, and you can unplug that and throw it in the glove box. So outwardly, there's nothing different about your Jeep. This unit, because it does have 4 different modes, each with 8 different levels of adjustability inside of it, this is designed to plug in and stay plugged in where you can easily reach it, so you can play with it, turn it on, off, and change the modes. It does come with a small cradle that is adhesive and an alcohol wipe to clean the area of your dashboard, which is a nice feature. Getting this installed is a very simple process, and as I mentioned before, I'm giving this 1 out of 3 wrenches. All you need to do is climb under the dash of your Jeep, which is really the most difficult part about this install, and unplug the wiring harness from the pedal itself. From there, you'll plug one end of the Pedal Commander harness into the pedal, the other end into the factory harness, and you're done. From there, you just run your cable up into your dash or really wherever you want to have the Pedal Commander so that you can easily access it, and you're finished. You'll turn the vehicle on, turn the unit on, and go ahead and scroll through your settings to figure out exactly how you want it set up. From a price perspective, this is priced exactly the same as the biggest competition right now, which is the Sprint Booster. Like I said before, the biggest difference is that the Sprint Booster has two modes, well, off, a lower mode and a higher mode. And the Sprint Booster is also designed so that you can set it and then unplug the button that you scroll through the settings with and throw it in your glove box. It's really more of a set it and forget it. You don't see it in the Jeep. It just becomes part of your regular driving habit. Where the Pedal Commander is designed to plug in, it has a lot more modes so that you can really dial it in on a daily basis depending on the type of driving that you're doing. It's designed to be changed often. So that's really the big difference between the two, and that's what you should be taking into account when you're deciding between the two. Now, when you're deciding between purchasing this and a calibrator and a tuner, as I mentioned, they're all completely different things. A tuner changes a lot of different aspects of your vehicle, where this just changes the throttle response. So of course a tuner is more expensive. A calibrator can be less expensive than this, but that's really for changing gear ratios and tire sizes and is not going to affect your throttle response. So this, of course, isn't a product that you can learn a lot about just looking at it on the table. So we installed this on our Jeep, which, as we said before, is a very simple process, and we'll take it for a little bit of a drive. I'm going to try driving this thing first without the Pedal Commander turned on at all, which will just give us that stock feel that we're used to in this four-door. Then we'll go ahead and switch it into a couple of different modes and make a couple of the adjustments to give you an idea of how much you can really feel this thing. So just putting around town, this Jeep does have a little bigger tire on it, so it is a little bit sluggish. It's definitely not going to be a race car by any sense, but it does okay. It gets you around town. What we're going to do now is just pull over on the straightaway and put the Pedal Commander into the first mode. So this is the city mode. We'll go ahead and give that a try. Even just revving the motor, you can definitely tell that there's a little bit more pickup. It seems to get up and go a little bit faster. It definitely has a sportier feel, that's for sure. I'm always surprised when I drive vehicles with things like the Pedal Commander or a Sprint Booster on them, because I know that there's no tune. I know I don't have any more power coming from the engine, but you really do get the feeling of more power even without having to put 93 octane in your Jeep and have to worry about the possibly adverse effects of running more timing and all of the other things that an actual tune does. This gives you a good bit of that feeling, all without having to make a larger monetary investment. It definitely feels stronger. It feels a lot stronger than it did when I was putting around without the Pedal Commander on. Pull over here and we'll see if we can't get it into one of the other modes. What we're going to do now is leave it in city mode, but go up to +4 and see if we can notice a big difference between city mode in regular +1 versus city mode +4. It does feel a little bit sportier. It's not as drastic of a difference. I'm sure if I drove around in city mode 1 for a while and then drove around in city mode 4, I might notice more of a difference, but it's not drastic enough to notice a huge difference just after making a couple of quick pulls in 1 and then switching to 4. But there is a difference. It's just not, as I said, just not quite as drastic. What I'm going to do now is switch into sport mode, and we'll see what sport mode does for us. It is more sporty. It's exactly what it says it is. It is going to be a pretty big increase even over the city mode in +4, going into sport mode does make a pretty big difference. Let's see what we can do here. Pull over. And it does feel strong. Again, I said it before and I'll say it again, it's amazing what simply changing the throttle response can do to the feel of the Jeep, not actually adding any power into it. Around here and go into Sport Plus mode. What can I say? It feels more powerful. It absolutely does what it's designed to do. It gives you a lot more pedal response, and by way of that, a much more powerful feeling. And you know, it's a Jeep. It's not a race car. It's never going to be a race car. And you have to know that when you buy a Jeep. But if you do want a little bit more of a sporty feel out of your Jeep without doing a full tune, this is certainly a way to do it. It actually takes quite a bit of getting used to. Normally when you switch gears, you feather into the throttle a little bit. I'm actually giving it a little bit too much throttle now, and actually over revving a little bit between shifts just because I'm not used to driving it with this much pedal response in it. It's certainly a different feeling. Now what I'm gonna do here is switch into Sport Plus +4, which should be the highest mode. Whoa. I'm not going to say that it makes it undrivable by any stretch of the imagination, but it does make it drastically different to the point where it does take a little bit of getting used to. Again, you never want to treat a lifted Jeep on 35s like a race car, because it's not, and you're going to get yourself into trouble. However, if you are looking for a sporty feel out of your JK, this is certainly a way to do it. All again without the need to buy a tuner and then to run a higher octane fuel and have all of those added expenses. But that's my review of the Pedal Commander, available for all 2007 and up JKs that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.